Hi guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to do my animation style. And before we start, I know you probably weren't expecting my voice to be like this, but yeah. Anyway, first you want to go into Procreate and click New Canvas and click Screen Size and click Animation Assist. So now they have your frames. And you can do your frames there in the layers place or down there. And first what I like doing is creating my character. And how I do a perfect circle is I just make a wonky circle and then I put my finger on the side and then yeah. So now I'm, just making the base of my character, and it looks a lot like it looks very simple. But what I do is I set a duration time for it so it lasts longer because it's annoying to keep duplicating it. So what I do now is when I want movement, I duplicate my character. Well, not my character, I just duplicate the frame and I slowly edit it. So this is my second frame, you could say, not counting the duration. And I'm going to make him quickly open his mouth and then start squinting. So I'm just duplicating the frame I had ahead and I slowly make the mouth bigger and the eyes wider, and I'm drawing the teeth, the front row of teeth, and the tongue, everything. And you can do this any style you want, but this is how I like to do it. So I'm just slowly progressing, and you guys can skip a little bit if you can skip. Yeah, you can just skip a little if you don't want to see this, but this is the basic way. If you don't want your other layers to be shown in the background, because sometimes it shows an onion skin like that, what you can do is deselect all the layers you don't want to see and only select the layers you want to see, just like how I did. Another way of doing it is by holding onto the check mark of the layer that you want to keep, and it'll remove all the other layers. Not remove them, but only select them. And now what I'm doing is I'm using that tool to slowly make it wider. So I'm duplicating it, and whoops, I'm clicking the S, and then I use the sort and I pull it down to make the mouth slowly open because I don't want to keep animating the mouth, that'll take too long. So what I'm doing is, look, I'll show you. So the mouth movement lasts longer, which looks a lot better, and it's slowly moving, which adds more realism. And now I'm going to make the part where he squints, and I'm using blur frames, so not really. I'll show you later. This is before he's closing his face. So I do in between when he's closing it, and the scene looks very wonky, but it works. So this is I just do 1 or 2 frames in between the movement. And now we have him squinting here. And actually, if instead of clicking the back button where you can see on the left side of going back, you can actually just use your 2 fingers and click onto the screen and it'll make you go back. And if you hold, it'll start undoing what you did. And what I'm doing now is just making him squint slow, making it look exactly the same, but I'm just remaking the frames and making his squinting slow, making his squinting smaller and smaller. And after this, you're going to see something that I like doing a lot. So there's a part where I'm going to hold his squinting, because I don't want him to squint for that little like I'm showing. So what I do is I duplicate it, I erase, and as you see, I'm holding on to the check mark of the layer, and you see all the other layers despawn. Well, not despawn, remove, sorry. And what I'm doing next is I'm trying to create an identical copy of the earlier frame in this new frame. And so you can still see the difference, but I'll just show you what I'm doing now. So moving it behind the second one, and then I'll keep repeating that. So now I just duplicate the one in front of the last one, send it forward, duplicate that one, send it forward, duplicate that one, send it forward. And this seems kind of useless, but if you look closely, it's like it looks very smooth. Instead of just pausing the same frame, it gives it a smoother and nicer look. So I'll show you right now. Look. Yeah, so I think it looks a lot smoother. And again, you don't have to look at all of this, but at the very end I'm showing you how I do my impact frames that I like doing. And now this is a smear frame where like I'm stretching the eyes and everything, and it's like a wonky frame that I showed you that's in between the both frames. And now I duplicate it, and then this part I'm gonna make him scream. So now I'm making smearing the eyes. This is a smear frame where I stretch his eyes and everything out to show motion. And if you go to like my 300 sub special, you'll see in the intro of the video, it shows it's a very good like way of how I did smear frames. But now it looks very wonky. But what I'm gonna do is, instead of duplicating the body so the body's the same, I just making a new frame by clicking add frame. So now I'm remaking the body because I want to add movement, and it'll look weird if he's screaming while staying still. So now I'm giving him a big face, like a screaming face, and this is taking a while to do. But you can just skip if you don't want to see how I do the face. And I'm giving him a nose for some reason, because his nose just randomly appeared. It just looks cooler, I think. And yeah, you can just watch me do it. Oh, and for the mouth, that's the top teeth thing. It doesn't look like it, but it's inspired off like the One Piece style when characters are screaming, because I like One Piece. I've hidden some reference in one of my videos if you guys have seen. But now I'm giving him arms, and yeah, another example of smear frames, and that's also his arm on a new frame, but now it's like just higher. And now you probably should just like, I don't know, I'm just copying the mouth and the face but extending it. Like earlier how I showed you that it's subtle movement, but it adds more like liveliness to your animation. And by the way guys, the Procreate does cost $10, and there's a free version of Procreate, but it doesn't have all the features. It's called Pocket, and if you're drawing on an iPad like I am, it won't be the same size, it won't be screen size, so it works better for phones. I mean, it is called Pocket for phones. So you guys should probably just not watch this part, because and this is the last frame I'm going to do, so yippee, no more watching the video. But after this, I'm going to show you my impact frames, because I love doing those. But I'm not gonna spend too much time on it. And if you're wondering how I'm like dragging and dropping the colors, what I'm doing is you see how I change colors is by the black circle in the top right corner. And what I'm doing is, first I choose the color that I want to drag down. For me it's black. And what I do is I hold on to the color for very little, for like a split second. I just touch it and then I drag it down. But you can't do it too slowly or too quickly, because you might do it in the wrong places. And if you want to drag it into a place, you have to remember that it's all sealed up, so the color doesn't leak. Yeah, so I think that looks pretty good. And Now I'm going to do a quick example of impact frames, and you can just do 2 times speed for this because I'm not gonna talk much. And one more thing for impact frames, what I like doing is one frame, like making most of it black, and then for the next frame making most of it white. So yeah. And for videos with low FPS, I like only doing like 2 or 3 impact frames because it'll be too long. But for videos with faster FPS like 20 or 19 or even 16, I do like 5 or 6 or even 7 impact frames. And I'm gonna remove the face because impact frames don't really need a face. And now I'm gonna do the white impact frame. So I just click add frame and I sort of do the same thing, but I contrast the colors. And I'm not spending too much time on this because people barely see impact frames, but it adds a good touch to it. And yeah. Now what I'm doing is, I think the impact frame is in a little too early because the impact frame is like exactly when a person does the action, but when the impact frame happens, there's like those 2 frames where he's still moving. So instead what I'm going to do is put those 2 like smear frames in front of the impact frame, so like they're moving a little, but the impact frame happens when his reaction happens. So I think that looks better. But now this is the final touch, my favorite part. I get the last frame and I duplicate it like about 10 times. And you're wondering, wait, earlier didn't I I told you to do the subtle movement like when he's squinting, but now it's just plain and it looks ugly. But what I do is, actually I go into all the frames, I click the arrow, I select it, and I move it around, but the movement slowly gets like less subtle. Oh, no, sorry, the opposite. It becomes more subtle until it transforms into the last frame. So it's kind of, I'm sorry for my explanation, it's pretty bad, but just rewatch the video if you want. Yeah, so it has that cool vibration at the end and it's just a good touch. Thanks for watching.